What up, bitches? Back at it again with another episode of the motherfucking CJ Bronson podcast. And today is Thursday, June 30th, 2022, which means it's pre-Friday. Pre-Friday, which should be exciting. I mean, it's July 4th weekend coming up. I'm sure a lot of you guys have shit to do. You got plans. Maybe you're going to hang out with the family. Maybe you're going to grill. Maybe you have a pool. You're blessed with a pool. You can go swimming. You know, maybe you just have a hose and you just spray each other with water guns. Who knows? I don't know. Whatever it is that you have planned to do, I hope you enjoy it. Hope you have fun. I hope it's cheap, because I don't know about you guys, but I need to save some money. Things are getting a little tight these days, a little tough, and it's going all around. It's not just inflation. I feel like a lot of people are holding back because they don't know what is coming as far as the fall. I've seen a lot of reports of people saying this fall prices will increase as far as eggs, as far as chicken. I think even one farmer posted that's going to be about $10.99 a pound for chicken breast. In the States over here, it's about $1.99. I think $2.20 is the highest I've seen it. But yeah, so I'm not looking forward to that because I eat a lot of chicken. We all eat a lot of chicken in this house. But nevertheless, life goes on. The story continues and the show must go on. So I want to talk to you guys about this amazing story that I found. And you may have heard about it. It's about UFC star Cain Velasquez. And I'll switch over to it in a second. Give me 2 seconds here. Let me see if I can figure this out. And here we go. So, UFC star charged in shooting sues man over alleged molestation. Excuse me. Ooh. Excuse me. Not cutting that out. That's a natural burp. All right. Yeah. So the UFC star, if you guys haven't heard, Cain, an amazing UFC fighter, is suing this person, Harry Eugene Goularte Jr., and his family who own a daycare. And I think I reported about this a while ago over the alleged molestation of his 4-year-old son. Allegedly. This is what he believes and evidence shows it happened. So let me continue. San Jose, California, Cain Velasquez, the former UFC heavyweight champion, accused of trying to kill the man he claims molested his 4-year-old son. He's suing the man now and his family who own a daycare where the alleged molestation occurred. If you guys do not remember this, back in February, he chased him down in a pickup truck. He was in a pickup truck and shot at the truck during a busy street, like some gangster shit, like some badass shit. And I respect that. I'm sorry. Call me whatever. I'm not trying to incite violence. You guys know I'm not trying to promote that shit, but this is his 4-year-old kid and this guy's getting away with it. The mom owns a fucking daycare. So who knows how many other kids this guy has been fondling, diddling, or Lord knows what else. So, I mean, I look at this as a hero. This is a guy trying to end child molestation. No one else wants to put a stop to it. He tried to do it. I shouldn't applaud it, but I kind of do. I mean, like this guy, you're as a parent, you're supposed to protect your kid. And, you keep people turn around and say that's the police's job. That's the court's job. Well, the court's not really doing that shit. Cops aren't really doing that shit either. They're basically, everyone has their hands tied or they're worried about pronouns. They don't have fucking, they don't really have the balls or anything to really stop this. Well, my man Cain decided he was going to put an end to that shit. And that was his decision to make. And, he's dealing with those consequences now. But this is interesting. It's an interesting turn of events because now there's a lawsuit involved. So I had to pick up the article. I had to read it because, like I said, I mentioned this a while back, and I guess it was back in February. Man, time flies. We're already almost in July. That's crazy. But let me go on. So, Velasquez was arrested in San Jose, California last February, again, after he shot at a pickup truck carrying the man through busy streets in 3 Silicon Valley cities, ramming the vehicle with his own truck during a high-speed chase. Now, a judge in March denied bail to Cain, who faces attempted murder and multiple gun assault charges. Because, again, the guy wasn't alone in the car. in the truck. There was other people that in the truck that he shot at. So I guess that's where they're getting multiple gun assault charges. Anyway, his attorney, Mark Garregos, has said he plans on vindicating Velasquez in court. Good. Velasquez claims in a civil lawsuit that Harry Goularte sexually molested Velasquez's son while the boy was attending a daycare run at a home, again, by Goularte's mother, Patricia. The Times said the lawsuit was filed on behalf of a minor. Harry Goularte was living at the home and working for the daycare during the time of the alleged molestation. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. Hopefully they mention this because what the hell is this, an ad? No. Hopefully they mention this because this was always interesting. I found this interesting to do. Stefan De Phillips, an attorney for Goularte, didn't immediately respond on Wednesday to a call seeking comment, right? Okay. The childcare business and its owners fostered and maintained an environment where the children could be molested, sexually abused, and harassed, Velasquez said in the court filing. The lawsuit accuses Goularte and his family of negligence and sexual battery. Now, Goularte, 43, was charged with lewd and lascivious, I can't say that word, acts with a minor by the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office. He has pleaded not guilty, and trial is scheduled for September. Velasquez, 39, is due back in court in August, the Times said. And he's been transitioned to pro wrestling after his MMA career. Well, that happens a lot. UFC fighters, they're real fighters. They take a lot of injuries, and they still got to make money, right? So I understand that completely. But again, I find that very interesting that that he was able to sue. I think he has a case, in my opinion. I believe that he does have a case. And let's see if there's any other reports. We'll do this right now because I clearly remember that there was another report, and I'm trying to find the original report, and I can't find it because I believe the guy, Harry, the guy being accused, I believe he was released and sent back home. I'm trying to find. Here it goes. He's accused of removing the child's clothing, touching the child's privates, and exposing himself to the child. Who the hell is texting me during the show? What is this? Oh, it's a stupid notification here. What was I? Despite the warnings, observations, and signs of inappropriate behavior and conduct, Harry at all times remained permitted to reside on the property of Patty's childcare. Listen to that. That's so important. This is what I was looking for, and this is it. Let me go back here. The 13-page document accuses the defendants of not properly providing adequate supervision and care to the alleged victim. It also states the alleged victim was sexually abused by Goularte, who is accused of removing the child's clothing, touching the child's private parts, and exposing himself to the child numerous times from 2021 to 2022. So numerous times throughout the year. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. The complaint alleges Patricia Goularte, Bender, and Patty's childcare staff allowed this behavior and conduct to occur and continue to occur and failed to adequately monitor and supervise Harry, the victim. So despite the warnings, the observations, and signs of inappropriate behavior and conduct, Harry at all times remained permitted to reside on the property of Patty's childcare, meaning that they are saying that Harry, even though all of these things are happening, even though they're well aware of Harry's, let's say, obsession with children, they allowed him to stay on the property and be a part of this daycare where other kids are being brought in. So again, we don't know how many other kids are involved in this. So that this is crazy. The complaint further asserts all involved at the home daycare where Goularte also lived did not take proper steps to deal with sexual assault that was known about or should have been known about by the defendants. Now we're looking at past allegations here and past citations the daycare received from the state of California for inadequate supervision of its children. MMA Junkie confirmed through social service documents that the daycare had 10 violations, 10 since 2028, though none were sexual in nature. But still, 10 violations, This is a daycare. What are you doing? In 2018, the daycare was written up twice for being out of ratio, meaning, not enough supervisor to kid ratio. The first violation stated LPA observed licensee and 2 assistants working in backyard preparing for an event. All children were in the home without supervision. That's a very big problem. Multiple inspection reports referenced Harry and Paul by name and cited that both had passed necessary criminal background checks and received child abuse index clearances or exemptions. The most recent in January 2022. Patricia Golarte is listed as having a daycare license since 1988. Now, again, this is a one-sided report. I guess you could turn around and say that this is all based upon what Cain's lawyer is saying. But this is the guy, Harry. Attorney Warren Pabujian, who is listed as representing the plaintiff in the civil complaint, provided the following statement to MMA Junkie. The defendant should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law, Pabujian wrote. His terrible criminal acts of abusing my client should receive the harshest criminal punishment available by law. The daycare facility should never operate again, agreed, and the owner should be held accountable both civilly and criminally for her neglect, agreed. This daycare has a history of neglect when it comes to following state laws pertaining to child safety and care. You can't just be outside preparing for an event and the kids are left alone in there. This is supposed to be a daycare. You're supposed to care for the kids during the fucking day. It's a daycare. You care for them during the day, and you're leaving them to go set up for something. Now, I understand you're setting up, obviously you're setting up for some kind of event for the kids, but, you can't just leave them alone like that. I don't care if it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, a lot can happen, especially if this fucking creepo is around. Right? So now the plaintiff seeks judgment against the defendants for economic damages, non-economic damages, cost, and attorney fees, punitive damages against Harry, only prejudgment, pretrial interest, blah, 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 blah. Now, so of course, this guy is still pleading not guilty. He's 43 years old, pleading not guilty. He faces 1 felony charge of lewd acts with a minor child and is due back in court September 20th. The preliminary hearing will mark the first time Golarte has attended the court in person rather than virtually, as he's been doing, obviously because of the COVID protocol. If found guilty, Golarte faces a charge that carries a sentence of up to 8 years in prison and or a $10,000 fine. Cain Velasquez, if found guilty on attempted murder, could face a prison term of 20 years. But to be honest with you, in my opinion, I believe Cain don't give a shit. Cain was out for vengeance. He was out to make sure that this guy paid for the act that he committed, or the acts he committed, and probably to prevent acts from happening to other kids. I truly believe that. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying I think that's what his mental state was at the time. Meanwhile, Velasquez had a bail request denied for the second time on May 16th. His plea hearing was granted a continuance June 6th, the third continuance since his arrest. He remains behind bars in Santa Clara County, Maine Jail North, as he awaits a new plea hearing date of August 19th. The civil legal proceedings are scheduled to begin with a case management conference September 6th, and then Bendo will serve with his summons June 1st. So, to me, this is a little crazy. I'm kind of upset that he's still behind bars, to be honest with you. Yeah, I understand attempted murder. I understand that. But if you have a sexual predator out and about, who has a history of doing this kind of shit, who's done this before, he's literally back home where the daycare has taken place. It's not like they stopped, caring for kids. I don't see them mentioning that they stopped doing that. Let me see if there's another article here about it. I'm looking for kind of the same information here. The mother and the stepfather are owners of the daycare center and fostered and maintained an environment where the children could be molested. Yeah, right. We saw this already. But they're saying he was arrested and charged on allegations of child abuse against a number of children, including Velasquez's 4-year-old son. So there's multiple cases against this guy, multiple accusations against this guy, rather. But yet he's free, right? and Velasquez is behind bars. Is that fair? I don't think that's fair. Again, that's my opinion. Take it for what it is. I honestly don't see how that's fair. I don't. Here's a guy who, in my opinion, is defending his son, stepping up for his kid. And this guy clearly has done this to multiple children. Harry Goularte, whatever his name is, has done this to multiple children, and he's free for now. I don't see how that's fair at all. But I guess that's why I'm not a lawyer or a judge or anything like that. I mean, he's facing up to 20 years to life for his attempted murder. This guy only gets up to 8 years, and he's potentially ruined countless lives for the rest of their life. And who's to say after 8 years he doesn't come out and continue to do that? Again, he was an employee at Patty's Childcare in San Martin, where the alleged molestation occurred. The mother and stepfather own and operate the daycare, also named as defendants in the lawsuit. He lived at the home daycare. He actually lived there. Harry at all times remained permitted to reside on the property of Patty's Childcare. So think about that. Despite the warnings, the observations, and the signs of inappropriate behavior, this is the lawsuit saying this, and conduct. Despite the warnings, observations, and signs of inappropriate behavior and conduct, Harry at all times remained permitted to reside on the property of Patty's Childcare. That's fucking crazy. The 43-year-old Goularte faces one felony charge of lewd and lascivious, I don't know if I'm saying that right, acts with a minor. He pleaded not guilty during a virtual hearing, and remains out on bail. See, he remains out on bail ahead of his next scheduled trial date of September 20th. If convicted, he faces up to 8 years in prison. So he is being accused of doing things to multiple kids. He's out on bail, still living there, right? He's not banned from dealing with kids. He's not, none of that shit. None of that shit. And there's, again, numerous occasions from 2021 to 2022 that he is being accused of sexually abusing, molesting, and touching and harassing, Cain Velasquez's kid, Jr., among other kids. Is it fair that he's out on bail and this guy is behind bars for attempted murder? I honestly do not believe that's fair. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that's fair? I think, if you're going to put one behind bar, you should put them all behind bars. Like, why the hell is he free? And being allowed to stay on the property where the daycare is still, I have not seen a report of that being shut down. Let's look it up. Patty's Childcare in San Martin. Let's see right now. We're going to look it up right now. Why not? I got the ability. Let's see if they're still taking, it says temporarily closed. Let's see if there's any, I don't want to click on the reviews. Imagine the reviews. Ooh. Let's see if there's anything in the news here. Closed. Let's see. TMZ, what they got? Nothing. Same shit. Same story. Doesn't say if they're open or closed, but he was an employee, basically what they're saying. There's no, if you Google the company, if you Google the Patty's Childcare in St. Martin, it comes up as closed on Google, but I don't know if that's, a lot of these people are just like free Cain, molest kids at the home daycare. Like, a lot of people are just kind of, defending Cain. Again, that's your decision, but I want to know if they're still in business, if they still have a license to do this. I don't know. But it is what it is. That is where I'm leaving today's episode. And you guys, this guy, in my opinion, is he a bad person? Is Cain a person who deserves to be behind bars for up to 20 years to life. Does he deserve that? No. But I understand the court's mentality is if they let him go, this is going to encourage other people to take law into their own hands, right? So they call those vigilantism. Sort of like my book Worthless on Amazon, by the way, $3.99. Check it out. But that's frowned upon, right? Taking the law into your own hands is always frowned upon. But at the same time, is it fair for this guy, Harry Goularte, to be out and free? And they're not even saying he's going to be on a sex offender list or, none of this shit. They're not even mentioning that. And again, here's a guy who faces numerous charges. So, I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see what happens. Hopefully the system works. I mean, this is California. I want to have faith in the California system, but I want to have faith in the court system in general. But it's so hard to, because I've seen so many court cases go south and with unbelievable evidence, and it's still like, how are you letting this happen? And they still do. Listen to this. It said, so here we go. Judge Duong issued Goularte a criminal protective order that he must stay at least 300 yards away from the alleged victim at all times. Okay. Goularte appeared on screen but only spoke twice at the hearing, with 2 or less word answers responding to the attorney. According to the investigators, Goularte sexually assaulted a 4-year-old child at a daycare he resided at, run by his mother. The child, who was later publicly identified by defense attorney Mark Riegos as Velasquez's 4-year-old son, told investigators Goularte took the child to the bathroom and touched the child's genitals. The child said it happened 100 times, and the other children were seen going into the bathroom with Goularte. So again, it's not just this kid. Other kids were seen going into the bathroom with this guy. 2 days after his arrest, Goularte was granted $50,000 bail. 1 day later, Velasquez allegedly pursued and fired a gun at him. While Goularte was not physically injured, his stepfather, Ball Bender, was allegedly struck by a bullet in the shoulder. Bender said in May he was still struggling with health issues and could no longer work after being shot in the shoulder. What a baby. Since the day, Velasquez has remained behind bars, denied bail twice, based on alleged actions Judge Shaylina Brown called reckless. So this is reckless, but letting this guy stay at a child care facility where he can continue to molest kids 100 times over, that's not reckless. That's a good job. Good job, Judge. Good job. Velasquez is due back in court for a plea hearing on his own Friday at Santa Clara Hall of Justice in San Jose. The plea hearing has already been granted 2 continuances. Yeah, I think this is BS. I mean, dude, come on, man. He's out on bail. He can still work there. You're not going to investigate this. You're not going to look into this further. You're not going to at least suspend or pull the license of this fucking shit show of a daycare that had numerous fucking instances besides being touched by the people who work there. There were other things. I already read them to you. And I don't know. That's crazy world. But I feel for Cain, because as a parent, you often wonder, what would you do? I think he did what a lot of parents would do. And I think people need to understand that we're not just, a lot of parents are not just going to sit by and let things happen. They're going to take matters into their own hands, most likely. And I think Cain, like I said to you before, I don't think he cares if he gets, obviously he wants to be out and he wants to see his kid and his family and all that shit. But I think he's more upset that he didn't get the revenge that he wanted to get, or the vengeance or the justice that he was seeking. And, unfortunately, I'm praying that he gets that. Hopefully the courts make the right decision in the, when's the court case, September, whatever. Hopefully that September 20th, hopefully that works in his favor. Regardless of his outcome, I don't really think he cares about if he gets 20 years to life. I think it really depends on what Harry Goularte, the person who's being accused, the molester, what he gets. All right, guys, that's it. I'm done for today. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, Like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up again on Twitter at CJ Bronson Show. Love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.